that was done by Sahara Reporters. And from the beginning, I'd like to say that this is not something that I can confirm or deny. But I'd like to talk about from this, the angle I want to talk about is the terror financing investigation we were never meant to hear about. And we really need to talk a counter-terrorism of investigation that involved the DSS, that involved the CBN, that involved the Army, and all multiple agencies of the government of Nigeria covered financial trails that touched some of the most powerful people in this country. And instead of prosecution rather, what happened? The investigation reportedly died. And the suspects today are walking free. The officer that led the investigation was detained and silenced. This is not gossip. This is what Sahara Reporters published. You can check the headline that I just showed us. Now, like I said earlier, these are allegations that were reported by Sahara Reporters, and they are not proven. My job is to analyze the political implications and demand accountability because this is what I do on this channel. Nigerians cannot fight terrorism in darkness. That's why we need to know the truth. Now, let me start with the setup, what we were not supposed to know about. According to the report, Operation Service-Wide found that suspicious financial flows, BDS networks allegedly aiding money laundering, offshore accounts with hundreds of millions of dollars, and connection between suspects and some very powerful Nigerians. Now, here's what Nigerians must pay attention to. Sahara reporter quotes Ali-Keffi clearly. He said he did not accuse the powerful individuals of financing terrorism. He said they had business of financial links with suspects that are under investigation. So he didn't say they are financing terrorism. He only said they had business of financial links with suspects that are under investigation. But here's the problem. In any country with functioning institutions, when terror suspects have any financial links to public individuals or public officials, the state must investigate transparently, not secretly burying the case. And that alone is a national red flag. Now, these are the hard questions that they are not comfortable enough to answer. If these were merely business links, then why was there multiple agency investigation suddenly shut down? Why do we have 48 suspects reportedly arrested and quietly released? Was the lead investigator detained for 64 days? Was the case allegedly downgraded from terror financing to money laundering? And did the officer end up forcibly retired without explanation? These are not conspiracy theories. These are questions that has been raised by the facts that was reported. And a nation that has lost more than 100,000 people to terrorism deserve answers, not silence. Now let's do the analysis of the money, analysis of the financial structure. The article mentions one suspect with over $600 million offshore, $600 million, an alleged $50 million bribe attempt. Bureau de change used as front for suspicious transactions. And let's be direct, no terrorist organization moves money without a support system. Money laundering, share companies, bureau de change, these are all classic channels everywhere in the world. If Nigeria's financial system allows $600 million to offshore pay accounts without triggering prosecution, then the problem is not just terrorism, it is systemic complicity. And when the NIFU reportedly briefed a sitting president and still nothing happened, it tells us that the system is either compromised or the political will does not exist. And that is the problem we've been facing in this country over time, the lack of political will. Both are dangerous. Both are dangerous. A system compromised and a lack of political will is a dangerous situation for Nigeria. And why did they try to silence a senior officer? Why does it matter? Major General Ali-Keffi, retired, says he was detained for 64 days. He was detained without trial, without charges, without any for leading an investigation. And this is not just about one man. This is a message to every honest security officer in Nigeria. If you dig too deep, you become the target. This destroys morale, it encourages complicity, and it weakens our national security from within. Now, what's the political implication of this? Because this is my core analysis. This case reveals a familiar pattern in Nigeria. High-level allegations surface, institutions go silent, and investigators get punished. Powerful names get insulated, and the public gets no answers. This is why terrorism persists in Nigeria. Not because the fighters are strong, but because the system itself, the Nigerian state, is weak. It is politicized and compromised. This is why terrorism we're still battling with terrorism. A nation where terror financing probes are allegedly buried cannot win a war against insurgency. That is the truth. Where are the 400 names? The report states that there was a list of over 400 individuals identified during the operation. That list has never been made public. The suspects were allegedly freed with warnings not to take legal action. Why? If the names are innocent, clear them publicly. If they are guilty, prosecute them. But silence is not an option. Nigeria deserves transparency. Terror victims deserve justice. Security agencies deserve autonomy. This is the bare minimum any functioning democracy should demand. And this is my direct challenge to government and security institutions in Nigeria. I challenge the Ministry of Defense, the Office of the National Security Advisor, the National Intelligence Agency, the EFCC, the Army High Command, and the Ministry of Justice to issue a full, transparent statement on why that OSW was discovered. Why was the investigation altered? Why was suspects revealed? Because OSW was not supposed to be revealed. It was supposed to be a secret operation. That operation that was commissioned to lead the investigation and block terror financing in Nigeria. Why was it discovered? Why was the investigation altered? Why are suspects released? Why was the officer detained? And whether any powerful individuals influenced the process? Silence equals complicity. Nigeria has sacrificed too much blood for terrorism to be treated casually. This is my conclusion. This is a bold, honest truth. If Nigeria cannot prosecute terror financing at the highest level, then terrorism will remain a billion naira business. And no amount of military hardware can defeat an enemy whose financial backbone remains untouched. This is not just a scandal, it is a national security failure, it is a moral failure, and a government failure. Nigeria and Nigerians deserve the truth, not excuse. If you've enjoyed this analysis, let me know what you think in the comment section. What do you think is really happening beneath the surface? Should the list of the 400 names be published? Let me know your opinion in the comment section. If you value bold, evidence-based political analysis of events in Nigeria, kindly like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell because I drop video every day doing deep analysis of political events in Nigeria. Once again, stay safe out there.